I was watching the RuneScape videos, and here I am finding out that the CEO has responded or reacted to an individual who had covered the incoming changes or the survey, potential changes, whatnot. And I'm gonna go ahead and just 2 for 2. I'm gonna see what they said about the CEO. Let's get right to it now. Let's get right to it.
It's been a little over 24 hours since I uploaded this video, which has been blowing up just like the majority of RuneScape related social media accounts and platforms on Discord, Twitter, and Reddit. The issue I covered in that video is bigger than the Hero Pass drama, and it's bigger because it affects every single RuneScape player, no matter if you prefer old school or RuneScape 3. Having to pay more for less, which is what that video was about, is something no one wants. As a quick reminder, or in case...
Man, I'm still stuck. It's like, look, imagine being this dude right here. Like, anyone who plays RuneScape, they see this guy, they're like, brother, what are you doing this to us? What are you doing this to us? Please stop doing this to us. He ain't even the guy making the decision. They just made him the scapegoat, pretty much. Like, damn.
In case you're watching this video and you haven't watched any of the other drama that people have been putting out, Jagex is toying the plan, which they definitely intend to execute at some point in some shape or form, to get you to pay more for basic account security, having access to both games on a single membership plan, the ability to play without ads that do not exist yet, and you having to pay more simply to retain your current AFK timer, otherwise it would be reduced. Since that time, which honestly isn't all too long ago, 3 significant developments have taken place. 1. The survey was taken offline. 2. Jagex's CEO Mod Pips replied with a personal...
They took the survey down? Well, you know, they probably only wanted to run it for a little bit of time, but if it's only been out for a day, they probably didn't get the... They most definitely didn't get the feedback that they were looking for. These YouTube videos probably went crazy and not in their favor.
Letter, and 3, I've had a good night's sleep. No, this video isn't sponsored by a mattress company, but you wouldn't be able to afford it if Jagex continues to increase membership prices like they're planning to do now. Let's go through this reply, shall we? The conjoint membership survey has caused the community frustration, anger, and concern. We made major mistakes with this and are truly sorry.
Are they sorry though? Let's stop right there. Are they truly sorry? In my opinion, I think they knew this. I knew this was going to happen, you know? Like, at what point did they think, hey, let us increase the price of the game and reduce features? Players are going to like that. They've been asking for an infinite amount of other things for us to add to this game. But what we're going to do instead is increase the amount of money that they have to play and then paywall some of these exact features and a lot more that they already had behind further or more expensive packages. No one wants that.
We've heard your feedback loud and clear.
I'm sure they did.
I wonder where I've heard that word before. I have a feeling Jagex uses this whenever there's drama, and it's their way of saying, yes, we've heard you, but there's a big difference or big discrepancy between hearing something and being an actual good listener. And Jagex, the company, isn't a good listener. But they are really good into tricking you to believe they are by writing messages like these. They use these exact same words around the Runelight shutdown, and they also use them around Hero Pass. The way we approached this survey was clumsy and inconsiderate, to say the least. We failed to think this through from your perspective as players. We caught up in research mode and rushing a project with a research partner. First of all,
the way we approached this survey was clumsy and inconsiderate, to say the least. We failed to think this through from your perspectives as players. We got caught up in research mode and rushing a project with a research partner. What do you mean by that? Research mode with a research partner. What kind of data are you all collecting from survey beyond just like how you all can make money?
Well, putting the blame on another company or partner is a pretty weak excuse.
Yeah, let's run this back real quick.
Now, let's go through this reply, shall we? The conjoint membership survey has caused the community frustration, anger, and concern. We made major mistakes with this and are truly sorry.
No, you're not.
We've heard your feedback loud and clear. I wonder where I've heard that word before. I have a feeling Jagex uses this whenever there's drama, and it's their way of saying, yes, we've heard you, but there's a big difference or big discrepancy between hearing something and being an actual good listener. And Jagex, the company, isn't a good listener, but they are really good into tricking you to believe they are by writing messages like these. They use these exact same words around the Runelight shutdown, and they also use them around Hero Pass. The way we approached this survey was clumsy and inconsiderate, to say the least.
I'm pausing again, I'm sorry here. It was extremely inconsiderate. Extremely inconsiderate. They're like, you know what, let's just take features away and up the money. Even though y'all been playing for years. A lot of these people have been playing for years. I don't know how many new players are joining, but you gotta stay. I think staying loyal to the core is always good now. That's all I gotta say.
We failed to think this through from your perspective as players. We caught up in research mode and rushing a project with a research partner. First of all, putting the blame on another company or partner is a pretty weak excuse. Blaming another company which you partnered up with for your own mistake is as weak as a kid named Timmy pointing at Max and yelling, "He peed on the wall," when everyone knows Timmy's the one with wet shoes. It's not only unconvincing, but it also makes Timmy look even guiltier. Second of all, this survey was far from clumsy and inconsiderate. It was carefully crafted and very well put together, if I'm being honest. I actually did the survey after receiving it on some kind of random account that never logs in, and it was really well put together. We're talking full production for each feature mentioned, individual videos, and an introduction video 2 minutes long. Ignoring the contents of the survey, it was generally very well put together. What was in
They most definitely planned this out. Big crafting, no doubt.
intended as a rigorous methodology for exploring an unfiltered range of ideas you saw as alarming possibilities that appeared to threaten the integrity of the game you love. Duh.
Okay.
It contained ideas for consideration that in the cold light of day just shouldn't have been in there. Again, you wouldn't be serving something you aren't considering. That's ridiculous. There's no way a billion-dollar company surveys a question that they have no intention of using the data results of. That's a load of horseshit. We should have paused to consider.
Yeah. Why else add the question to the survey? Like, why else run a survey if you're not trying to figure out what the players think or to get some sort of information about the idea? To say you added an item or items to a survey and there was no reason. I don't know, man. That don't sound right. Maybe I need to run that back. Maybe I heard that wrong.
It contained ideas for consideration that in the cold light of day just shouldn't have been in there. Again, you wouldn't be serving something you aren't considering. That's ridiculous.
Okay,
There's no way a billion-dollar company surveys a question that they have no intention of using the data results of.
Yes, sir.
That's a load of horseshit. We should have paused to consider this properly and avoided the unnecessary worry and anger this has caused. This was an exploration survey intended to test a broad range of features and options around
An exploration survey? What are you exploring? This is an exploration survey. What are you surveying? What are you surveying? What are you exploring? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to come on now, just be straight up, please. Just you send out a survey. Yeah, you survey and you're exploring the people's ideas or people's opinions and a few ideas that you're floating, you know, like that's what you're doing. You're exploring some ideas now.
Subscriptions. You mean base features and community worlds and ads, including those from other games to measure how they rank and compare. The randomness of the survey system presents features, combinations, and prices that, understandably, alarmed many of you. This is pointing out the obvious because we just had a price increase of 24 to 30%, and Jagex is showing you options that in the cheapest package are 28% more expensive. Let's continue reading. It was a major misjudgment to include features that suggested we would consider, you definitely were considering, degrading the game experience or impacting gameplay. Even the mere suggestion of ideas like in-game ads, shorter AFK timers, or making improved player support an additional cost undermined your trust in us. If they would have just asked anyone in the office if this would undermine trust, I'm sure all the developing JMods, the people that we see on live streams that are behind the updates we all love.
I wonder if any of them took this survey themselves, because if they did, I'm pretty sure they probably would have gotten the same answer. You don't even have to run it by the rest of us. You just had to send that survey internally. I wonder how many of the devs or anyone who plays the game would respond. I don't think anyone would want to pay more for less, unless you're really loving the game, Otherwise, I don't see a point to a lot of these changes. I'm going to keep on giving the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to see what this man has to say.
They would have said it would have undermined trust. Well, the goal was to gather data.
Sorry, it just definitely
Improved player support and additional cost undermined your trust in us. If they would have just asked anyone in the office if this would undermine trust, I'm sure all the developing JMods, the people that we see on live streams that are behind the updates we all love, they would have said it would have undermined trust. Well, the goal was to gather data about speculative options. We should have realized these topics would feel like a betrayal of your trust and the guiding principles that makes our game special. I find it hard to believe that a survey around membership and membership perks is speculative. Why would a company include irrelevant questions in a thoughtfully designed survey? It simply doesn't make sense. Surveys like this are tools for gathering actionable information, not placeholders for random ideas. I remember doing my industrial engineering degree, I had to set up like a little startup company, and some questions I asked in my survey to my target audience, my potential customers. Note, Jagex is serving actual or pre-existing customers here. The questions I asked were, hey, how much would you be willing to spend for this product? What colors would you like the most, or which would you be more likely to pick? And we adjusted our pricing and core options based on those answers. And by the way, regarding the colors, we only picked colors we were capable of producing. And the questions regarding to price, we didn't include any options that would go lower beyond our lowest price point, but we did include options that were maybe higher than what we would expect customers to pay for the product. Now, I'm not sure how strong of an argument that is. I mean, you can't really compare a massive company to a startup, but I just wanted to share my 2 cents. Now,
yeah, all I have to say is, if a company like this is sending out a survey, and regardless if it's exploratory or whatnot, I think it's fair to think that they're probably gonna, they have something they're looking for. Like, I don't think, when I look at this survey, I think, hey, these guys need some feedback on how to switch up their monetization here. And I'm not liking these changes. A lot of people aren't. But these are some of the initial thoughts that they had for it, or someone had for it. Like, whoever the research partner was, or whomever was in charge of getting the questions together, they were trying to figure something else out, because they hired someone specifically to come down and give a video presentation for each of these features. If they just wanted it to be a simple exploration like idea, me, it would have been just would you, like you were saying, something simple. Would you play the game if features were tiered and if they were tiered like this. But instead, it was like they hired a whole company to make a YouTube series to explain all the new features that were coming out in this game. I don't know, man. I just hope they don't add that stuff.
Now let's continue reading into what Jagex has learned, because I'll be honest.
Yeah, let's see what they've learned. Let's see what they've learned.
I don't think they've ever learned. They keep repeating the same process. But let's just, let's go into this message. This process has reaffirmed just how much you care about our games and what you do or do not want to see in the future. Your clear feedback has reinforced our commitment to the values that drive our games and guide the decisions we make. Beyond testing very early concepts of various kinds, no firm plans were in place and not a single line of code has been written for any of them. The survey has been halted. I'm not really sure what they're trying to downplay here. It doesn't matter if they haven't started development on any of these options. The problem here, and whether or not they've started development on these options or not doesn't really matter, is that they see these options as options when ads have no place in a subscription-based MMO with that many microtransactions. And increased security features isn't exactly a justification to increase the price of membership by 45%. We take your feedback very seriously. We've heard you loud and clear.
Wait, yeah, it's like, if you want your account to be more secure and not have hackers or take everything from you, you gotta pay us a little bit more money. I don't like the sound of that. If I don't want, so I have to pay protection money. Get it? But I gotta pay a hell of extra money on top to make sure my account's okay. Yo, just add 2-factor in there or something, man. Like, make sure my account's okay. You can at least do that. Like, they're giving you money. I'm pretty sure I pay for a membership just so I can hop in and play whenever I'm on the mobile. So it's like, come on, man. Don't be doing that.
Clear, again, they say it again, and we want to address some of the main issues we saw mentioned in the Runescape community. Okay, here it comes. Ads in membership. This was originally to be tested in the context of a lower cost ad-supported membership. We will not include in-game advertisements in any regular paid membership.
Yeah.
While we may explore ads in free-to-play as a concept in the future, there are no plans for this currently, and we will tread carefully considering all feedback. This is exactly the problem with this message. Up here they say beyond testing very early concepts of various kinds, so they started developing concepts. They mention that there are no plans for this currently, yet they also say that they may explore ads in free-to-play. That's indicating towards a plan to add ads to free-to-play, despite... Hold on a second. Mod Pips, I keep saying they, but this is Mod Pips' message. He's speaking for the company. You're literally trying to gaslight us by saying it won't affect you because you're a paying member. We're just going to add it to free-to-play, basically minimizing the concern here and
free-to-play
simultaneously also planting seeds for future possibilities. Because once ads are in free-to-play, you can damn well say they're going to be added to members at some point as well. Kind of makes me wonder how much revenue they think they can get out of adding ads to free-to-play. I can't imagine it being that much. Unless ads pay a lot to be in a video game. I feel like getting in more members by producing more content is far more profitable.
Well, you have to think about how many free-to-play players there are. Like, if they're... I don't know if the numbers are out there. If the numbers are out there, put it in the comments below. Please, put it in the comments below if you know how many free-to-play players there are for RuneScape versus how many members there are. So how many subscribed players there are. It's probably there somewhere. I don't know where it's at. But if there are that many free-to-play players, adding ads, hey, that might be enough to get a little extra cash, And if people are botting, that might be a good way to mess that up, especially if the ads are intrusive enough. Hopefully they're not, but let's say they were, that might be able to mess those little bots up. And then, but if they're not intrusive, I hope it's not too bad. Just it may be enough to get people who are on free to play to be like, I gotta get off it. But the thing is, if you play free to play and you earn enough money, pretty sure you can buy bonds to get member. So we will see how this goes. But adding ads to free to play, that does kind of set a precedent. Adding ads to the paid, but adding ads to free to play, pushes it off for a little bit. Thing is, I don't mind if ads are in the free to play. I just don't want ads in the subscription based, because at that point, why are you even paying to play this game? If I have ads in the game when I have a membership, I'm not gonna play. Might as well be free, At that point, so there's no difference. The only thing is, it's just you're just paying. Yeah, you get a little few features, but come on now, don't add ads. Don't add pay. I don't know. I don't like pay to win in subscription based games. You're already paying to play the game. You should get everything. If you have to pay for a membership or you're subscribing to play, you should get. I think everything should be within the game. If it's free to play, you should be able to monetize it. I like skins. I think that's fair. I don't necessarily like when people can just skip ahead, but if it's free to play, they have to make money to keep the servers up, so there is that. But if you're doing that mix right there, they need to do a better job at making cosmetics or something instead of ads, man.
But hey, maybe I'm wrong. There's a reason they're considering this. Okay, AFK timer. Similarly, this was originally included in the context of a lower cost membership option, but we will not be reducing AFK timers for any paid membership from where they are today.
Good.
Okay, good. Player support. You want improved player support, and this should not require additional charges. We agree. Then why pull it or survey it at all?
Hey, got him.
You've given us deep feedback on this, including in the recent player support survey. We understand the frustrations players have with the existing support systems, and whilst we understand any doubt you might have, we're already making positive progress on this front. And yes, you wanted to charge us more for it. Let's not forget that here. We want to make sure our baseline support offering meets your expectations, regardless of the content and feedback from the recent survey. We hope to be able to talk more about this soon. General principles. We will never degrade or fundamentally change the gameplay experience on offer between subscribers. This might just be the most important sentence of the entire survey.
Okay.
This is the Jagex CEO saying we will never degrade or fundamentally change the gameplay experience on offer between subscribers.
Right.
Then what exactly is adding community worlds, which is basically modded RuneScape custom servers,
that's what I want,
to an increased or more expensive membership tier? Community servers are literally a way of modifying your own RuneScape server, and that's definitely gameplay changing. The fact that this sentence is in this message shows that this guy right here, commenting on every video, no matter if it's a guide or something unrelated to Jagex, he always says Jagex lies. The next section about what's next is a bunch of crap. They're saying, oh, we're learning, it's giving us valuable insights, and we're committed to protecting the core principles of our games.
Worlds.
And really, what they are trying to do is the exact opposite. Nothing about this survey message makes me believe they're protecting the core principles of RuneScape. What exactly are those core principles, ModPips? And what are some specific, measurable, and relevant actions you have taken to improve those principles and the game, and within what kind of timeline can we expect to hear back from you? All of these damage control posts are the same. How many times are you going to say that you've heard our feedback, we'll do better, and you'll be working more with the community? How does that fix the problem? You aren't solving the root cause. In fact, you're barely solving the direct cause of this issue. Your solution is barely a band-aid. What clear, defined actions have you taken to ensure this never happens again? And what concrete promises can we look forward to that will actually make us feel heard and valued moving forward? By the way, there are some clear differences between the old school RuneScape letter and the RuneScape 3 letter. The RuneScape 3 letter is more generalized, and the old school RuneScape letter is more specific to the old school RuneScape players and mentions unique concerns such as plugins and exclusive worlds, while the RuneScape 3 letter doesn't and is more generalized. With that being said, I hope I informed you with this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like down below, and especially if you're interested in sharing your thoughts, drop a comment, and also make sure your voice is heard on other platforms, because what Jagex is doing right now is unacceptable. And there are many times where I would say the game is properly going downhill, but this is one of them.
What do you guys think? Do you believe Jagex can be redeemed from this here experience, or these decisions that they've made here today, or this past couple days? Wondering if we would be okay with a price increase for a game that they've already, bumped up ever so slightly, while locking behind key features or accounts behind a paywall. To then say, hey, this was not our intention, and to say that this survey was not to be taken serious, and that it was more like something that was exploratory. That just ain't it, man. That just ain't it. You would hope that they would be straightforward, and I would say like a little bit more on it, because when you look at a survey like that, or just in general, you don't poll unless you're curious. I mean, I guess you could poll if you're curious, but even if you're curious, you're trying to get an idea of what people would and wouldn't like. And if they didn't like the idea, then you would get an understanding of, hey, maybe we shouldn't continue with this. And that's what I would think, because in my opinion, every survey is exploratory. So an exploratory survey, wouldn't that be what it is by nature? Unless you're using it as some sort of like test or quiz to grade players on their responses, which if you're doing that, then hey, I still think you're looking for some sort of data. You're looking for some sort of response so that you can later use it for something else, right? So maybe your intention maybe the intention was honest. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they just had a few questions and they were just like, hey, yo, company, if you have questions, do what you got to do, right? Go ahead and do what you got to do. Some of these changes look like they were going to pretty much change the experience of all players, and the experience that, and guarantee you all, we're getting the most amount of money out of players without necessarily considering about their well-being. Not that you're obligated to, it's just that, if it's like there's a tier of memberships, and one of them is increased account security, you should be getting that anyways, but y'all went back and later said, hey, no, that shouldn't be included, and that should be a part of it. It's just that I'm curious I'm curious about who came up with that idea, because even if you were stuck in research mode, wouldn't you be wanting to research what is in the best interest of your players? You know what I'm saying? Like, you'd want to innovate in a way that would make old players happy while bringing in new players, instead of trying to, I think you could get more money out of them that way by increasing the prices and be like, hey, this individual who already pays for 5 accounts, let's go ahead and let them bundle it up and add the 2 factor in there, but hey, let's see what happens. If anything more goes on, I'll probably react to some videos. I'm probably gonna give this guy a follow so that way I know what's going on. Y'all should too. The link will be in the description below. See y'all. See y'all next time.